All right, 6 o'clock, calling the Finance Committee to order. We'll start with the roll call. We have Alderman Donahue's here, Alderman Bilotto.
Here.
Alderman Klinker.
Here.
Alderman Johnson, absent. Alderman Alexander, absent. All right, moving on to citizen concerns. Is there anyone from this public that would like to address the committee? Nope. All right, keep rolling. Dave Myers, you're up first. We have first the finance presentation. I know at the last meeting I asked for a wealth of information, and I believe you provided all that. So, if give you the floor if you wanted to start there.
Okay. Does everyone have a printout?
I don't, but I reviewed it.
Here,
Okay.
You got an extra copy?
Well, let me stop you because we were able to get further, so we have some sharper numbers, budget to actual.
I was just looking at the general fund compared to the water fund.
Here is the list of numbers. Thank you. And then I also have the other attachment that was what I would call the mostly salary information.
Sure.
So I printed those off just so you have a copy.
Great.
Yeah.
So what I did was I omitted all the revenues and expense pages and just printed the salary information.
Okay. Thank you.
So it's like a duplicate
Yeah.
if you printed the other one already.
All right.
Okay, so let's start with the budget to actual. I'm just going to get these papers out of my way so I'm not going to get confused here. So as of now, you'll see that the revenues for property taxes have changed and they're down somewhat. They're not really down. What we did was we moved some of the property taxes, and property taxes, that second line item in the revenue section.
Yeah.
And the amount on the prior draft was 3.6 million, now this is 3.3, because we moved the debt service taxes. We levy separately for debt service. During the year, all of the property taxes get recorded in this line item, and then at year end, we move the debt service portion to Fund 38. So you'll see those property taxes in a page near the back. It might even be on the last page.
Okay.
So it was 200 and some odd thousand of debt service property taxes. So this is going to be the final number
For the property tax.
for the property taxes, right?
Will be 3.3.
All the sales tax is completely up to date. Income tax, use tax, replacement tax, gaming tax. There's a couple of revenue line items that need updating still based on unrecorded information. We're tackling that. Mainly it's going to be the electric and natural gas. So account number 3151 and 3152, there's about 6 months of revenues for those that are not recorded but to be recorded. It's 6 or 7 months. I'm not down to the exactness of that.
Okay.
The rest of the revenues are good. The one that I want to caution you on is if you roll, it's about 6 line items from the bottom is 3,500 bond proceeds.
Okay.
Now that includes the remainder of the Illinois Finance Authority bonds that we collected this year was about 500,000, plus the $1.5 million bond issue that we just issued that just came in December.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's why that looks, that's over 2 million. Is because it's the combination of those two items.
Right.
Now we had planned for the Illinois Finance Authority. We did not plan for the 1.5 million. When this budget was voted on last year, the 2019 budget. So as a consequence, if we leap back to page, and it'll just take me a second to get there. Page 11 of 19.
Okay. Page 11 and 19.
Okay, and almost at the very bottom, you see where the water fund starts. Just above that is where the general fund ends, okay? And so if you look at that first column of numbers, and the excess of revenue subtotal it's 3.5 million minus. That's because we budgeted 3.5 million more of expense than revenue last year. That's why that's 3.5. But if you look at the next column over, which is the current period and also the year-to-date.
Cut you off real quick, Dave. I just wanted to recognize Alderman Alexander.
Oh, okay.
Also, as well.
Ah.
All right.
Let me grab some papers for you so you can follow along.
Just start. Yeah, voted nothing yet.
Thank you.
And we're looking right now at page 11 of 19 on the revenues and expenditures compared to budget.
Systems packet for Annette. I don't see she has one.
And just above the water fund on page 11 of 19, there's a line item called excess of revenue subtotal. And that's taking into account all the revenues collected minus all the expenditures for the year for the general fund. And that first column was last year's budget, so we budgeted 3.5 million more of expenditures than revenues. And right now, the revenues exceed the budgeted expenditures for 2019 by 1.6 million. Again, though, that includes 1.5 million of the bond proceeds, of which we spent in January of 2020, so right when the calendar turned, we spent 1.3 million of that. And so we're gonna reclassify that back into 19 because those were liabilities that were paid out for 19 and prior activity. That reclassification has not been made yet. So that $1.6 million revenues over expenditures to the good, if you will, is going to shrink down to about 300,000. Then when we add in those other revenues, though, the the items from page 1, the electric and natural gas and whatnot, there's a few $100,000 there. So we're going to be to the positive by several $100,000 when these final entries get closed out. Does that make sense then?
So taking the bond together out of it, pretty much taking the entire thing out, it's the natural gas and the electric, these unreported revenues, what's going to put us over the...
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So we'll show we'll be to the black, if you will, in the general fund for 2019.
I'd say we did a really good job cutting expenditures this last year.
Yeah, saying no, so good job, committee. All right, keep going, Dave.
All right.
Unless there's any questions, does anyone have any other questions before we keep moving along?
I mean, we can go into detail if you want, and there are some reclassifications that are going to need to be made. I know one thing that happened with within the software, the payroll software, it was some of the folks who were line itemed to part-time salaries got put into full-time salaries, and we've been correcting those as we go. As Alderman Bilotto had pointed out last time, in the mayor's office, there was a disparity between, and so that was corrected.
That's what the issue was. It was just coded under.
Right. What had happened was when they did a software update, it reset some of the categories, and so a portion of the year was correct, and a portion of the year was not correct. And so we're trying to go through and fix those items.
Okay.
But we haven't fixed them all yet.
So under legal fees, under general government, page 4 of 19, this does not include December's bill what we just got, correct?
For Olson Street.
Yeah.
If we haven't paid it yet, it doesn't include it. That's correct.
Is anywhere else in our budget, in these numbers here, that legal bills are being submitted to? Other than this line item of legal fees?
I looked earlier, some of them are.
Also want to add Alderman Johnson to the roll call. Welcome, Alderman.
So we're at like 430 out of 5 here, if we add this month's. He never answered.
No, he did not answer that.
Dave, do you know, I'll look at just what general area to look, if there's, where else legal is billed to? Other than,
Okay, I'm sorry, which line item are we
I'm
looking
looking
at?
at legal fees, the large one, legal fees, page 4 of 19, almost all the way down.
Right, okay, I got you. Yeah, all
Is there
right.
anywhere else in our budget that legal bills are billed to?
That's where the legal fees are charged. Now,
All
there-
legal
there-
fees?
There could be, yes.
So all the different law firms, even lawsuits, whatever, they're all.
Well, no, now, some of the lawsuits could be going to, let me find it here.
So, if I could interrupt for a second, I just went through and picked out, looking at the codes. There's some bills, legal bills, Odelson and Stark, that were assigned to 480, which is risk management.
Right, that's the other spot, 480 is risk management, yeah.
480-7210 PF, I'd have to look that one up.
Fred, we were right that he's.
So they are being billed to, there's a lot of stuff actually being billed.
Right, there's-
Not all just going to that 409-6640. I looked at Montana and Welch, they're all 409-6640. I could go, and I need to go back and look at other ones to see what.
So they're either in risk management or legal under general?
Yes,
Those are the only two spots?
right.
Okay. So this, I would say this large one, personal injury civil rights claims for $500,000, that's where, which 409 was spent, that's where the other half of legal is being billed to, probably, part of that. Because there's settlement claims, which is a separate line item. So it'd be broken around in this risk management somewhere, right?
Right, I don't have the detail of all those in
Well,
front
no,
of me,
just
but...
generally, it's in risk
yes.
management or under general fund legal expenses.
Correct.
Okay, all right. All right.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Alderman.
I know I was late, you guys.
Just
I
started.
apologize for
Just
that.
started.
Just started?
Just started.
Yeah, we just started.
Because I want to add a question about District 130. We don't pay any of that stuff, do
Are you talking about Olson's bills?
we? The District 130, right?
Yeah.
The school did, I was wondering where.
So we had a clarification on that. Chairman, do you want to respond? We emailed Carrie on that one.
So, yeah, so I guess to answer your question, Dexter, Sanders, so District 130 purchased Sanders School last, like April. The school was previously a private property. Obviously now District 130 is going to turn it into public property. Public entities don't pay property tax. So what they submitted to the city was just, hey, this is our exemption. We don't pay property tax. We were just trying to get clarification from Mr. Horvath of why we're fighting it, what's going on, and Kerry's here. He explained it, so that's what it was. So we're not paying anything to do with the 130 stuff. It was just they submitted documents. Yeah, they submitted documents to us, and they reviewed it. So
Yeah.
And then, like I said, Mr. Horvath reviewed all of it, and he provided a pretty good explanation this morning, early morning, early afternoon, I guess. So.
Yeah, it was just a question.
No, that's fine. No, happy to answer. So.
And they have agreed to waive that small charge. So,
Yeah, but I was just wondering about District 130, that was all. But then you said they was acquiring property, that's,
Yeah, they acquired private property, and because now it's public property, they're not going to pay they get an exemption on the property tax.
Okay.
If you need me, I'll just be at the civil service. You can explain it.
Perfect, thanks, sir. All right, Dave, I'm sorry, if there's,
Yeah.
Alderman?
I know you made the comment that some of the bills, well, the bills that were paid last month was included in the expenditures here on page 11.
Yes.
I know we paid the CalSAG payment. Is that included in this as well?
The 409,000, I don't know which line item that went to. I'd have to research
But it's
that.
supposed to be reimbursed, right?
Right.
Right, but, yeah, so that would just be, yeah, that was just gonna be cash going out the door.
it's passed through. I'm trying to find it to myself. I saw it in here.
That's what I was looking for. Oh, I see it over, yeah, over here in risk management insurance, is that it?
No.
No,
I'm
it
looking.
used to be under marketing, because Mary Polson used to operate all that. I'm not sure where they moved it to.
And actually, that may also just end up being a 2020 event, because we just paid it in January, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So that wouldn't have been a 2019 event, as
Okay,
I
so I didn't know if that
recall.
was I couldn't remember if that was an invoice from 2019, but it just got paid in 2020, like some of the other invoices.
Right, yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's an
pass-through
invoice so
grant.
much as we're just moving the
Here it
money
is.
back over to them.
It's on page 11 out of 19. The last line item, CalSag East Trail segment,
Right.
right there. That's the $500,000, that's where it's at, we just paid the rest of it, I think.
All right.
It was 400 and something, right?
Yeah, but I'm wondering if that's half of, this was budgeted for last year.
No, those would have been other
Yeah, other
expenditures.
expenses. We're the bank for the CalSag East Trail, so all the other districts put money in our account, and we hold it until the work is done, and then we pay it out again, but we reimburse it back. So we're like the,
We like put it in an escrow account.
yeah,
and
we're
it
like
sits
the
there.
bank for the CalSag Trail. So it's just, we're holding the money that other towns give us, and then we put the same money back out. Yeah.
All right. Wanna
So
keep
I'm
going?
saying if it shows going out, do we show it coming back in?
Yeah, so that would be under
Well, it's not
revenues.
coming back into us. We had to pay the Dalton Park District for their expenses, so we no longer have, we received that money in 2012. And we've just sat on it because
Okay, that's what it-
there's been
yeah.
engineering and design and different things, and now that they're proceeding with the actual construction, Dalton's saying, hey, give us our money, we gotta pay our people, so we're just kind of giving them
Okay.
the money we've been holding.
Yeah, it would be in transfers in somewhere here, but I'm not, it was a while back.
That was, I think, 2012.
Right, so it won't show up in this report when the money came, that was years ago. And this just reflects what happened in 2019.
Okay.
All right, Dave, wanna keep moving along, please?
Well, sure, yeah, if you look at the water fund, and again, if we can look at the total revenues near the top of page 12 of 19, there's a revenue subtotal about 6 lines down, and you could see that revenues were 6.4 million for the water fund.
Yep.
And then the expenses are on the next page, on page 13 of 19. And again, looking at the second column of numbers. That first column of numbers is the budget. The second column of numbers is what happened during the current year, and 5.2 million. So we were to the good by about 1.2 million in the water fund.
More for streets.
Yeah,
The next fund is the business district.
Yeah.
You could see the revenues were 683,000. Expenditures during the year were 122,000, so that fund had an excess of 560,000.
well, Fred, what's the balance? We have like $2 million total.
It's close to 2 million, I think, around now.
It's just a
Total
shade
amount.
under, yeah.
The business facade grant, business development district, the 1% tax on Western Avenue is near $2 million in the positive as of right now. And there's gonna be some expenditures coming down the pipe, small minor ones, and what the goal is to save enough to do the entire length of Western Avenue from start to finish instead of piecemeal and at one time.
Where we can
And
get along.
it's multi-million-dollar project. We got estimates of 12 million plus to redo all the sidewalks, street lights. And when we get around to that, that would all have to come right through all these committees again, because I'm sure everything we discussed 2 years ago, it needs to be redone.
No longer, it's
Yeah.
And
15.
it's probably gonna be a little higher too.
But we all agreed at the time, let's do it all at once.
And I forgot, the distance where we were going from?
Going from 119th to, the district stops at 135.
Okay,
So everything in between.
okay, cool.
So it's
And
just
it's badly needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the fund that, so we collected this year, in 2019, 683,000 in that fund, for that
What
1%
page?
tax.
We're on page 13, Dexter, bottom
But we
of
spent
page,
122.
yeah, bottom of page is 13.
Okay, the bottom.
Yeah, number, right above, it says golf course is the last thing, and right above golf course is
Business
business district.
No, this is
I
revenue.
had a question for the
We
water
projected
water
610,
billing
we
expense.
went
Okay,
over
go ahead.
73,000. We collected more than we
Okay,
projected.
because we budgeted for 25, and then they said the current period is 32.6, and we like in a negative 7,000 at the very top of 13. Yeah.
So the water billing expense was, we budgeted 25,000, we spent 32. That was our expense. I'm not, I assume that's our
Right.
expense that we send out for the water bills. I don't know if you know more about that, or if you know the,
Yeah, I'd have to look up to see what is exactly charged to that account, but it looks like we were over budget by
You know
7,000.
how, because one, we got online, and then it will not come in and pay. But I understand we still do the stuff.
I'll ask,
thing.
I'll ask,
Yeah, I would like to know why we, I can understand even.
Yeah, Randy would know.
yeah, I'll ask the
Period,
clerk.
but that's,
Put that on
we
the-
leaning towards what, almost $8,000, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I will send an email to Clerk Koiser tomorrow asking why, what happened there. If there was just, if the program just went up, if we weren't expecting a price increase.
Right.
Yeah, I'll find out. Water billing, it's all right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. Mr. Myers?
Looking next at the golf course, the total revenues on page 14 of 19, just above the expenditures, so it's about the top third of the page. You could see the total revenues were $932,000. Again, that fund has a little bit more reconciling to do. I don't think the numbers are going to change much, but there could be a couple small changes. But that's about where it's going to land. And then if you look at the golf course expenditures, which are in the middle of page 15, we had $808,000. And right now it's to the black by 123. Again, though, there's going to be a few modifications to the expenditures for sure.
And that's where?
I'm sorry, it's on page 15 of 19. We're looking at the golf course.
So let's slow down on the golf course, because there's been a lot of questions on that, and I'd like some clarification on this. I'm sure Alderman Johnson does too. So,
Go ahead, yeah, go ahead, Fred.
so just to repeat, what did we get in for the golf course revenue in 2019?
$932,000.
Before I went too far.
Top of 14.
So we collected $932,000?
Right.
All right.
So then we spent,
808.
so we're net positive 123,000 at the golf course. But as he said, it could change slightly because of some different things. And I know we asked if we could pay the Liche plan out of that, and I think that was okay. And it looks like even with that, it still has a healthy,
Right.
yeah, so the golf course did well last year. I think that the
Well,
golf course-
myself and Treasurer Bilotto, we had a conversation about it, that is finally trying to make money for the last couple of years or whatever, which is a blessing.
It is, yeah. Teddy's done a great job
Because we've been
operating
dumping
and
millions
managing
in there,
that.
brother,
No, I-
since I've been in office and have not made profit.
Yeah, I think
And that's a beautiful thing.
the last 3 years it's turned a profit. So
I think last year for sure. I know
Yeah,
last year made money.
And the year before just a little bit. But so Teddy's done a great job
Yeah.
of really
Yeah.
managing the place and
I agree.
looking at the expenses. So.
And I actually talked to Chief Klinker, I'm sorry, Alderman Klinker, about this green, we was going, trying to do things with green, and we were looking into.
Yeah, he emailed me back as he could be some information. Retrofit USA is
Yeah,
for doing
and
like
about
solar
the
stuff.
solar, and
Oh.
so our building and golf course,
Yeah.
rec center.
What do you go to Salt Green? Yeah, and I know the golf course, they just put in. Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. I know last year we just did the big energy efficiency upgrade with the LED lights there. And that should-
it's a savings.
Mhm, absolutely.
And then
I
like,
agree.
and the thing is, they got like big storage batteries, so I was reading upon it, that they can store and actually even sell back if they want. But,
Right.
if we can cut back something.
I'll have, just a side note, Chairman, there's a solar energy person that's been bugging me for a while to come to a community development meeting, and they're coming on the 17th along with everything else under the sun, where we talk about that night. So I
Okay.
invited them to come talk to us.
Right, I think retrofit wanted to come in.
That's fine.
I should get hold of him, and he'll
Come in, let them talk. I
Let
don't
'em
care.
know that-
This lady lives in town. I was like, sure, come to my meeting. I don't care. Send them in 17th.
All right, let's keep moving along on this. Dave?
Okay, your next fund is your motor fuel tax. You can see the collections were $736,000. A lot of that increase is due to the new tax that we've been getting. So since September, we've been getting about an additional $35,000 a month.
So does that include, because we also passed a 3% standalone gas tax. Has the Department of Revenue been sending that money out yet?
I'm But I would have to look into that.
So
I'm
could
not
we-
certain
so through
when
the
did that
capital-
take place?
Through the capital bill, we were, local municipalities that aren't home rule were allowed to pass a up to 3 cent gas tax of their own.
Right.
We did that, I think, in July or August.
Yeah,
And I was just curious if,
I'm-
I know revenue's collecting it, I just wasn't sure if they started,
I believe that's the 35,000 a month additional that you're collecting.
great. All right, any questions on?
Can we get that confirmed?
Part of that
Yeah,
was,
if you could you double check for the?
Yes,
part of that was
absolutely.
doubling MFT reimbursements to the municipalities on average, right? So it's a combination of two things that could be this
Yeah,
increase.
but I don't know if IDOT started doing that.
Giving that
I
out
think
yet.
they've been really slow.
All right. We just need clarification where the revenue, there's two sources of revenue with the capital plan. Our local tax, and the state was going to increase the reimbursements of MFT funds through the municipalities. I just don't know which one's contributing to this increase.
All right, keep moving along, Dave?
Okay, police pension fund, and then also fire pension fund, 7 and 8. We have the numbers, we just have to make the entry. We know what the taxes were that were collected. They were significantly higher than the prior year.
Okay. Do you see so now with all the pension consolidation, are we gonna see, I know we're still gonna have to do our contribution, but are we gonna see a savings where we're not having to pay the individual fund investor or the lawyers for that? Since we're not operating anymore. It's all, I know the local board's still gonna meet, but all the money's now being sent to one big pot for fire, one big pot for police. So will we see some sort of savings?
I would imagine
Like
you're gonna-
administrative, I'm thinking more like the administrative side of this.
Right, right. It'll be whatever the banks were charging, or the brokers were charging you. Yeah, there's going to be a savings there. I don't know what the extent it's going to be, though.
Gotcha. So that next year, that could potentially be a little bit different too, so.
It could be, yes.
All right, keep moving along, Dave, please.
Okay, community development, we didn't collect any grant money this year, so it was just interest, and there weren't any expenditures there. And then we move into the TIFs, and you can see TIF 2, 654,000 came in, 390 went out.
Okay,
TIF 3, it only had interest. We still have a bank account open, but TIF 3 is essentially closed.
yeah, that ended last year.
Right.
And the new, is it TIF 7 is the new, or 8 is the new one? TIF 7 is the new.
Yeah, you'll see TIF 7 later on. So,
But TIF 3 still had revenue in it though, right?
yeah, just 26 cents.
I thought it was 6,000 something.
Well, it has a balance. There's a remaining cash balance in the bank, but that's not current revenue. Those are just, that's a carryover from 2018. So that's money sitting in the bank to be decided what we're going to do with that money.
Okay, all right, just keep moving along, please.
TIF 4, small dollar amounts there comparatively, 39,000 came in. And you see on the next page, only $700 went out. So that balance increased. TIF 5, that's the largest TIF right now, 1.3 million came in, 302,000 went out. That's under Fund 22. Fund 23 is TIF 6, 134,000 collected, 129,000 paid out. And then TIF 7, as we had mentioned, that's new, and they had 22,000 come in, and looks like just under 1,200 went out the door.
All right, Alderman Bilotto, I see.
And-
Question.
Okay, well, I just had one more fund. Now, here's where I mentioned in the beginning, where the property taxes got shifted out of Fund 1, the general fund, and into Fund 38. So you see the property taxes, 255,000, and then it was used to pay bond principal and interest. And then there was another payment that was made, I believe in January, that would have more than made up for that 45,000, I'm sorry, 48,000 surplus.
All right,
So there you go for the recap of the revenues and expenditures.
Roger.
All right, my question, I think I asked the treasurer months ago, for that nearly 2 million that's in the business district fund, since we're not spending it right away, and we haven't spent it, is there any way we can transfer a majority of it into an interest-bearing account, or did we ever do that? Like Illinois funds, or?
That has not been done yet. That's to be done, though, yes. Yes, absolutely, that can be done.
Okay, are there any other questions on this portion here for Dave? No, all right. Dave, did you have anything else on this? I know the payroll or the salaries, I had some questions.
Yeah, let's
You
move
might have
on.
a question for Mr. Horvath, or just some guidance with this. So, going back, I know and Alderman Klinker's brought this up, and we brought this up at the last meeting about salary employees receiving more than the 2% raise. 3 of them got it, 1 of them had it taken away, 2 still get it. What recourse is there to get that money back, or how do we stop it, since Mike did this without the...
What specifically did he do? I mean,
So last year, with part of the appropriation, I think it was all agreed that it was just 2% across the board for all
Yes.
non-union employees. Mike gave Marisol, Christy Reyes, and Julianne Donahue additional, I don't know what the percentage, but additional over that 2%. And then, as I said, Christy and Marisol still has hers, Julianne had hers taken away. And this in July, we told Mike that they should all be rescinded, and he only rescinded the 1 and kept the 2. And I know we've asked Dave this last meeting about what recourse there is on now getting that back, since that's still over what was
was it
voted on.
over what was appropriate?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just have, so Marisol in 18 was 51,646. She should have just got, her 2% would have brought her to 52,679. This past year, she made 53,000. So it's not a ton of money, but it's still over what was voted on with part of the appropriation.
And just to clarify, we voted it by name, by person, on a separate list attached to the agenda. It wasn't just the fund we gave 2% to. So, and this is the only case, those 2 employees. Everybody else, checks and balances.
What was the overpayment on?
So it should, so she got $53,344.30 in 19. She should have got
679.
679, yeah.
And then the other one was?
Christy Reyes,
We don't have the dollar amount for that. We asked Marzella at one of the meetings, he responded that he didn't rescind it yet.
so
He
Christie's,
didn't rescind those 2 yet, he told us at one of our meetings.
so Christie's was 28,481, and then she got, though, in 2019, 34,772. But there was some question, though, that she might not have been a full salary employee.
That one's not as clear, because she's not set.
Receiving benefits at the time, she might have just been an hourly employee. So I'm not sure on that one, in that regards, but Marisol, we know for sure, since Marisol's been here, she's a salary employee, receives bennies.
Yeah, Christine Reyes is an hourly employee.
Still currently?
Up through the end of 2019, yes. At least that's the way she's listed in the payroll system.
Because I went back and looked through the payrolls, and Marisol's pretty much stays the same until she got.
Yeah, she's a salary.
Until she got another raise.
Right.
Julianne's is all over the place, and Christie's is really, that explains why Christie's is,
Yeah.
I mean, way over the place.
I can actually say I've never seen, in all the years I've done work for municipalities, I've seen mistakes, right? Of course, that happens. But I've not seen something like this, so why don't I check?
Sure.
Before I tell you what I think we should do.
No, I'm glad to hear that, Chase. We needed some guidance.
I just don't want to pop it up, because if there's a mistake, you can approach the employee and you can say, all right, look, we made this mistake, let's sit down and work through a plan for a reimbursement. Let me find out here. though.
Okay. No, thank you.
I'll get you an answer before your next meeting. All right?
I emailed the mayor with all my questions.
I saw your email, yes.
Okay, yeah, you were CC'd.
I didn't see your questions, but I did see your
Okay,
email.
well, just if you want to look at what the kind of the gist of it is, pretty much, because I CC'd you. and-
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that he wanted to meet with me, and my suggestion was to talk it out here instead of just meeting with me, so, okay.
But I will try to get you a definitive answer so that you know what you can do. I will say this, that should not have happened.
Yeah, and when we tried, we asked Mike when we were made aware of it in July, and he got real upset, and he didn't storm out of the meeting, but basically said that he has the authority to do that and he'll keep doing it because that's what he thinks the best interest of the city, so.
That's probably a subject for discussion in a closed session, know what we need to do there.
All right, any other questions? I know there's the full-time, employee, the salary info, and then he provided the overtime information too. Yeah, go ahead, Dex.
Question, do we have any employees, the salary that gets overtime as well?
There have been some that have gotten overtime, yes, that are on salary.
Okay, so did we allow for that?
I think it has to do how they're in like the personnel code, if they're exempt or non-exempt
Can I-
employee. Sure.
In a circumstance like that, my suggestion would be before we discuss it publicly and possibly get into naming names, if you'd like to discuss that in closed session, I think it would be beneficial so you understand, or we all understand what has taken place, but I know what you just said. I was just surprised of some of this recently, and so I would like to discuss it with you.
Sure, no.
If you don't want to talk about it this evening, we can talk about it at,
We'll do, Dexter, we'll do a closed session next time on the agenda at our next meeting. And sure.
that way, we're not mentioning people's names either without,
Great, no, thank you. So when we do it in 2 weeks, we'll make sure to have a closed session so we could.
yeah, just put it on a closed session, discussion of employee compensation, and we can discuss it, okay?
Perfect. All right, any other questions in regards to this? I know some of it, there's just a lot of information here. So if anyone has anything, I'm sure Dave would be happy to answer your questions in an email or a phone call, so.
Yeah, if you look at the one sheet that was the overtime and double time by department, it was page 37 of 38, that's in that second handout. You can see that there's not much difference between 2018 and 2019 in total, if you look at the grand total. 467,000 of overtime in 18, 460 in 2019, 33,000 of double time and 32 in 19.
Okay.
They getting
Double time?
No, we're talking about finance. Why are they getting overtime?
At that time, I don't know, 2018.
With Mike, I can see why.
All right.
All right, any other questions on this? No, all right, and then we have another item from Mr. Myers. There's a contract, here's a proposal for services for 2020. Dave, if you wanted to talk about that, please.
Sure, okay, this is exactly last year's contract with a new date on it.
Okay.
So we didn't propose to increase any of our hourly rates. We're proposing to do the same types of work on an as-needed basis.
Yeah.
Help out where needed, get things reconciled, file reports, provide you with data, reconcile accounts, etc.
Everything's the same. So I don't know if we're going to make a decision tonight, but I think we maybe just for the time being, just go month to month, and if that's okay with you. I don't think we're going to approve anything, but just keep
Right, and so the purpose is, basically, if you approve it and just sign it, we are basically month to month, because we're just working at your convenience.
Okay.
So this isn't locking you in for any specific time period. This just covers our services if we are to perform them
Sure.
for this calendar year.
Gotcha. All right, I think I just need some more time to look this over, so.
We don't know
maybe
what's
the
going
next-
on with the finance director
Yeah.
situation either.
So let's just hold off until the next meeting. We'll make a decision then, or have maybe a better idea of what we want to do, so.
All
2
right, sounds
weeks.
good.
All right, thank you. Anything else for Mr. Myers while we have him up here? Nope, all right. Thank you, Dave, appreciate it, great work. All right, next, the purchase policy, still working to get the draft we worked on. The Crawford roofing proposal, this is at the rec center. I know they did the roof replacement when we redid the rec center in 2015. And I think this is just a maintenance contract to perform the inspection, and if they find any leaks or they find anything, this would just be for that work. The price for 2020 for this, it's $1,960, 0 cents.
And it was reviewed by the city attorney.
Yeah, Carrie looked at it.
Yeah, it's strictly to inspect and then provide routine maintenance. If you need
Sweep building.
something important, then they'll notify you, they'll provide you with a proposal. Did they do the roof?
Yeah, they did the roof when we did it in 15, yeah. Yeah, it's basically, though, if it's clean the storm drains out. It doesn't seem anything crazy, so.
No. I believe this is TIF eligible. I believe it's TIF eligible.
That may be.
I believe it is.
All right, is there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
I didn't realize it was
Motion.
5 years.
Yeah, wise buy now.
I've been fighting for keep that damn.
Motion by Alderman Alexander, second by Alderman Johnson. Beat you to it. Alderman Johnson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Well, the ayes have it. Motion's carried. Next, we have the Robinson Engineering invoice tracker. My stuff's all mixed up here, but
Take your time.
I had it. This is what they've done in 2020 so far. Are there any questions? It's just broken down. It looks like he just took his invoice and broke it down into an Excel sheet.
I can make a comment on something about Robinson.
Sure, go ahead.
I know some of these things on here, I'll have additional questions at community development, of where we're at with them. LED lighting for the entire city, and we applied for a grant or something to that effect. I'll be asking for that, and the traffic stuff we talked about in community development. So, and Eric will be at the next meeting for community development. If anybody that's not on the committee would like to come anyway.
Yeah, he said he wanted to come, but he had a scheduling conflict because we moved our meeting from Monday to Thursday. So that's just what he broke down for us. I don't think we have to take an individual action on that. So payroll for this month was $352,653.01. I will try and answer questions the best I can. I know Alderman Klinker asked but had questions about the fire department, and Vicki, the payroll court, got back to us today and broke it down, or Jim broke it down, that it was, if you wanted to.
Yeah, so I was just concerned at the last payroll that there were some firemen making, it seemed like a lot of money. So I sent the mayor an email, and I got something back from Vicki earlier today, and it all checks out. I mean, I checked all the hours. I asked for anyone that made over $3,500. So there were guys that are here less than 2 years making $4,000 that last check, which just seemed way high to me. But when you start adding in, they had 2 holidays on it, and now instead of getting 8 hours of holiday, they get 16 hours of holiday. They also have a thing where they can sell back unused sick days. So if they don't call in sick this year, next year they can sell back up to 3 sick days. A couple guys did that. They also have unused vacation days that they can sell. So it all added up. So the ones that I checked, like 19 of them is what she sent me. The anyone that made over 3,500, I just picked an arbitrary number, and they're all good. So I got answers from her, and I emailed her back and thanked her.
Yeah, it was a good explanation too. Then when you explained it, it made sense.
I did it for a long time, so.
All right, any questions on payroll? I know we're going to start probably with Public Works. They've been out a lot the last couple of weeks with the snow, so this one and probably the next one we'll probably start seeing some more overtime out of there. But all right, is there a motion to approve this item? Motion by Alderman Bilotto. Do we have a second? By Alderman Alexander. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
No.
You're no. You are? I'm just making sure.
Nay.
Nay, okay. I just want to make sure. All right, so 4 yeses and 1 no. The motion carries. All right, moving on. Accounts payable. In this accounts payable, we have our bills for the Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is the insurance, and then a late addition just this week, which she sent a revised one out, was she added the garbage bill into it. So that's why it's a little bit higher this month. Again, I will try my best to answer any questions, and they gave me this nice bill box, but I will do my best to answer what we.
I didn't see your resume in the finance director's file, Mr. Donahue.
I did not apply.
You sure?
Okay.
We have a good stability right here.
So maybe next go around. All right, any questions?
Hang on 1 second.
Sure.
Did we ever get information regarding the cable bill?
No, I have not. I'll put that on my list here to follow back up with Paul.
The phone bill.
The phone bill, yes. This is like my third time asking for this.
Alderman, I understand your frustration, and all I can do is also ask, and I wish someone would obviously respond, because it's frustrating. We can't.
Very.
Do we know who's supposed to respond to this? Right.
I don't know. I think some of it's Paul, but I don't know if he's the person for all of it, though. Was phone bill?
When they get the
cables?
bill, it should be detailed out, itemized. So why can't we just go from there? It should have all the information that we're asking on that particular bill.
Yeah. All right. Besides that, are there any other questions?
Just something I noticed that went through it line by line today. On page 10 of 15, physicians immediate care. It looks like it's all physical stuff and drug testing and alcohol testing. I'm assuming that's just for truck drivers. It's coming out, if you look at the line item, it's coming out of service contracts.
Which one is that?
Page 10 of 15, all the physicians immediate care things. So the first one is the new building guy, and it came out of equipment maintenance contract. Then the alcohol testing for the next one, skip 1, 2, 3, all came out. It's under it just seemed kind of weird to me that it's a service contract. I don't know why that came out of that, but and maybe that's something.
Because we don't do our own.
Oh, I understand that, but if it's going to be for a random drug test or whatever, maybe we should have a line for that, is what I'm saying, as opposed to.
Right,
It's not, a service contract is somebody's going to fix a copy machine.
Because
in my
anything
opinion.
with DOT
Yeah, well, we just
or CDLs
Right,
is random.
right. Oh, I know that, but I
And-
just think that it should be clear what we're actually paying for. Maybe that's something that we need to work with Dave or the
Right.
finance director.
Or add it.
To add it, to change it, to make it a little more.
When we do the new appropriation,
Yeah,
that'll be something we
that's-
get
that's
in. No, I'd say that's
the
a
only
great,
question
it's a
I had.
great observation. Are there any other questions?
What company were you asking about?
Page
Oh,
10. Page 10, physicians immediate care.
Oh.
They're all like $78, and they're random drug testing is what they do for the truck drivers. And I'm assuming the building was a new hire, was some type of test also.
Drug test.
I think they send them to the same place.
Yeah, well, it's all physicians immediate care. So it just seemed weird to me that it's coming out of, one's coming out of equipment maintenance and finance, and the other one's coming out of service contracts in public works. It just seems like it could be more clearly spelled out in the appropriation.
Yeah, we'll address that within the next month or 6 weeks as we begin working on that. Anything else?
I know you said, Eric gave you the invoice tracking for all of these invoices on here today. And, I only have one question regarding all these invoices.
Sure.
Did you sign off saying everything was done according to the bids and everything is approved?
Yeah, I believe, we don't have the individual one here, but I know when Eric was explaining it last time, because with this, he's an engineer and he has to certify that anyway, so.
I know he has to, but did he?
I can't answer for him.
And that
so
was one of my asks
I know,
at the
that was
last
one of
meeting.
your asks.
He needs to make sure he tell us each invoice where he
Robinson.
signed off on saying approve, 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 approve.
Robinson.
Because if something is not done according to the bid or the specs,
Right,
then he's gonna have to handle that for the city of Bilotto.
sure.
I know a lot of these are not done yet, but the projects have started.
They started, yeah.
The physical project hasn't started, but just as engineering.
The design, yeah, that's in the design phase, it's in the engineering phase, it's in the grant, trying to get the grant stage. But no, that's, I will make sure to let Eric know that he needs to provide that with that information since you asked that. All right, anything else? No? All right, so is there a motion to approve the accounts payable It's in an amount of $524,695.36.
Just for clarity, Chairman.
Sure.
Forward the email from the adjustment is made for the few $100 for whatever the District 130 stuff is for the bill. So
That's, oh, I don't, is that on this?
It's on.
Oh, it's on here?
How did you come up with 500,000? That says 14.
Did you get the updated one with the garbage in it?
Apparently
Or
not.
printed? So she sent it out, or she sent it to Marisol. I don't know who was on it. Pam sent it
No, I
on
never got an
Tuesday.
updated one. This is just the original one that we got in the packet from Marisol.
So on, one second, I can tell you what day it was. On Tuesday, she sent out the revised AP to myself, and Annette was on here. So, all right, I will make sure Pam, when she does that, she makes sure to send it out to everybody on the committee. I didn't, sorry.
Yeah, so, no, that's okay. She's gonna update it, send everyone.
That's what it is, yeah, so,
I just printed this out yesterday and I'm like, okay.
yeah, what happened was the garbage, they got the garbage invoice and she added it because we met later.
So that's the difference between what I have and what you have?
Yeah, the Lake Shore
That's the only ad?
is the only thing that was added for $114,037.62.
Okay.
All right, is there a motion to approve the accounts payable? Motion by Alderman Alexander, is there a second? Alderman Bilotto?
Just make the correction for the District 130 stuff.
Sure, I will, Pam was on the email, Carrie, today?
Yeah, I'm going to send her an email tomorrow.
Yeah, so we'll make sure with the one on,
I'll make sure she gets that. It's
Yeah.
$277.50 or something like that.
so yeah, so the city council one will be up, will reflect that.
It's a couple different spots in here, Attorney. It's not major, though. You're right. It's only a few $100. There's another one here for $92.
Yeah, whatever they
The
total
District
up.
130 stuff, yeah.
All right, so motion by Alderman Alexander, second by Alderman Klinker. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? No. One nay. All right, so 4 ayes, 1 nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is hereby declared carried. Right. Last item, Alderman concerns, comments. Alderman Klinker.
So it's not on here. We had the Atlas Fire and Safety contract a couple of days.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it ended up going to Public Health and Safety, where we reviewed it, and we were all okay with it, with the question of, is this a conflict of interest because the business is owned by one of the current firemen's wives? Sent that to the attorney, he sent it back and said, yeah, and I missed that. You had it there all the whole time, I'm sorry for that. But it's all good.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we need to do anything now, or we need to put it on the agenda. or-
That's not a prohibited act because she or he, neither she nor he votes with respect to it. It is not, neither of them are a public official either.
So, yeah, so it's all good with Public Health and Safety. That was the only question we had. As long as it was okay with that, we're all good with it. So
Okay.
I don't know where it goes from there.
I'll make sure we get it on the agenda our next meeting.
Okay.
All right?
Also, I'll have the spreadsheet for accounts payable so that we can have two different views, looking at payables instead of a list.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? All right, thank you. I know we moved our meeting from Monday to tonight to accommodate my travel schedule, so I appreciate that. If there's nothing else, there's a motion to adjourn. Motion by Alderman Alexander, second by Alderman Bilotto. All in favor signify by saying aye.
When is your next meeting?
Sorry, our next meeting is Monday, February 17th at 6 p.m.
17th?
The 17th, yes, sir. All right, meeting's over. I think this is, in the 7 months we've been doing this, this is the quickest one we've had.
It
so-
is.
Wow.